Hello there. Heat wave conditions are easing in Europe as we move through the weekend. An area of low pressure is moving in from the Atlantic, and this cold front is squeezing that extreme heat up into Scandinavia. It will, though, spark off some pretty intense thundery downpours as we go through the weekend. So on Saturday, you can see across northern Spain, through the Pyrenees, into France, the Low Countries, Germany, across to the Alps, some torrential thundery downpours are likely, may well lead to some localised flash flooding. Now, through the Mediterranean, across Turkey, Greece, across southern Italy, it's fine. It's settled. The same too for Corsica, Sardinia, the Balearics, and for southern Spain, where we're likely to see temperatures mid to high 20s. A much more comfortable feel in Paris, 22 degrees. That heat now squeezing its way up into Scandinavia, where we could see the high 20s, low 30s quite likely. So as we move through Sunday, we've still got those thunderstorms threatening, this time across Italy, through the Balkans. And I suspect, so again, torrential thundery downpours are likely. Drier, brighter and more comfortable, though, conditions out to the west. That's going to be the story into next week. As you can see, for London and Paris, Madrid stays pretty consistent. Low 30s likely for the next few days. Out to the east, we keep some thundery showers going into Berlin, but those temperatures will start to ease. Hello there. It's a largely fine and quiet weather story across North America at the moment. Should we take a look at the satellite picture? We've had this weather front that's been easing away from the eastern seaboard. It's still producing a fair amount of cloud and moisture and some pretty intense showers close to Florida, and maybe some shower activity which we'll need to keep an eye on through the Gulf of Mexico. It doesn't look likely now that it's going to threaten as a storm system. We've got an area of low pressure moving its way to the west of the Great Lakes. Behind it, something colder across the northern plains and across that west coast. We've got another area of low pressure that's pushing into parts of Western Canada, British Columbia in particular, and may well just start to spill in a little more cloud through Vancouver. Oregon looks largely fine and dry, not looking too bad generally across that California coastline. Few showers into the Rockies as you push it further inland, but again, it's a relatively straightforward weather story. So Seattle will see the odd spot or two of rain from that cloud, but it eases away on Sunday. Elsewhere, it's fine and settled. Now, across the east coast, we're likely to see those temperatures into the mid to high 80s. There'll be a good deal of dry, settled, sunny weather around. A little bit of fair weather cloud for parts of Tennessee and Georgia, stretching down into the Carolinas as well. Florida could really continue to see some pretty hefty showers through the middle part of the day. So always that risk, but I suspect as we go through the latter stages of the weekend, it's going to improve. Hello there. The weekend's approaching in South America and the weather story is quietening down, particularly the heavy rain that we've seen recently across southern Brazil and Uruguay. So you can see from this massive cloud here, that weather front starts to drift off out into the sea, and then behind it we will start to see temperatures improving a little as well. We've got some wet and windy weather down to the south. Up into the north, the usual showers, some of those quite intense across parts of Venezuela, Colombia and down into Ecuador. Also see a few sharper showers into the northwest of Brazil, but generally speaking it's fine and settled, as you can see quite clearly. Tail end of that weather front just spilling in a fair amount of cloud, but it will be largely fine and dry. 14 degrees is the expected high into Buenos Aires. Some snow to the tops of the higher ground across Patagonia, and some showery rain close to the coast as well. This is the 5-day city forecast. As you can see, we keep that sunshine and some warmth into Rio de Janeiro. Now, for Mexico, well, some showers around, but it does look as though we'll see some heavier rain into next week. Yucatan Peninsula looks fine and dry. Generally down into Costa Rica and Panama, we'll see more enhanced showers. And one or two showers, a bit of a nuisance across the Caribbean. But generally speaking, it's a relatively quiet story now for the end of July. So this is our city forecast. We keep some showers turning into longer spells of rain for Mexico as we move into next week. Hello there. A forecast of the Middle East coming up shortly, but if we start off in Africa, you can see on the satellite picture the shower cloud through the equatorial region. Some of these showers fairly extensive, really through parts of Sierra Leone and across the Gulf of Guinea now. It's also rather breezy across that east coast of Somalia. Now further south, it's fine and settled. We've got heat building across South Africa. Up into the north, we've got extreme heat here, and that will be very much the case over the next few days. So that's the story across Africa. Let's take a look at the city forecast and see if there are any changes. Well, Cape Town will have that blue sky and sunshine easing, and it will get that little bit cooler with a weather front approaching from the southwest. But Nairobi stays fine and settled. Khartoum keeps the heat though, and temperatures stay into the low 40s for the next couple of days. Now moving away from Africa to the Middle East, where again a similar story in terms of dry, hot and sunny. But the breeze I was talking about across east coast of Somalia also affecting perhaps Yemen and Oman. We've also had a localised shamal blowing just recently across the Middle East. It's lighter for the start of the weekend, but it's still there. Could still bring some lifted dust. It's fine and settled though, really stretching down through Kuwait and into United Arab Emirates. And our city forecast shows little in the way of change for the next few days. Hello there. The position of the monsoon rains pretty much where they should be for this time of year. Now we've got a monsoon trough starting to develop and enhance the rainfall, particularly through the northwest. Now you can see the massive cloud. That's where the extensive rain is. And it tends to sort of sit across Myanmar, Bangladesh, up into eastern states of India. But the heaviest of the rain looks likely to develop a little bit further west over the next few days across parts of Uttar Pradesh into Rajasthan and parts of Pakistan as well. The yellows and the greens denoting the heaviest of the rainfall. So let's take a look across Central Asia in a little more detail. And it's fine and dry across Kazakhstan, but you can see that rain from the monsoon trough moving out of Pakistan, even affecting parts of Afghanistan as well. So there will be some wetter weather to come over the next few days. Not looking too bad across southern parts of Pakistan into northwest India. Showery rain across that west coast, not as extensive as it has been. Looks largely fine with just a scattering of showers into Sri Lanka over the next few days. Then we move into that rainfall that I was talking about across eastern states of India. Also, we've seen some very heavy rain across the western areas of the Himalayas too. So the next few days shows some sharp showers to come into Mumbai. Few more showers to come into the early half of next week as well through Colombo. Tashkent stays with blue sky and sunshine, temperatures peaking in the low 40s. Hello there. As we approach the weekend, we've got a tropical cyclone Nari, which looks likely to move its way across the southern shores of Japan. It's going to bring some pretty heavy rain at times. It's also going to bring some damaging gusts of winds, and weather warnings remain in force. We've got shower cloud generally across that area of the Philippines and stretching down into Indonesia. But north of that, you can see quite clearly where Nari is sitting across Japan, the heavier, brighter colours, the yellows and blues, denoting the intensity of the rainfall. There'll be some sharp showers to come as well into southern China, down into the Philippines, as we saw from the satellite cloud earlier, and a few sharp showers into Vietnam. Not looking too bad into southern Thailand, and generally through Indonesia, a little quieter. So this is our city forecast for the next few days. The showers ease in Tokyo from Monday onwards. We'll keep some sharp showers going into Manila. Now, as for Australia, high pressure in control, quite quiet at the moment, a scattering of showers not amounting to too much. Seeing this nuisance weather front that's brought some windy weather across parts of Victoria and into Tasmania, still lingering. Eventually that will move towards New Zealand as well. A scattering of showers on and off through New Zealand, but on the whole, the weather not too bad for the start of the weekend. It certainly looks for the North Island as though showers will remain a feature for the next few days. In fact, you can see that quite clearly on our 5-day city forecast. That's it. Take care.